Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I am with Scott. What's up, Scott?
Greetings and salutations.
What is up, Steampunk Starraisin?
Here in Hollywood. Hello.
What's up, David Aston?
Hello, viewers.
So, I don't know if you heard Steampunk, and I invited Daniel to this cast, too, because it's relevant. CBS and Viacom have merged, and Star Trek rights are now complete.
Well, that's good news. That might explain why the Picard trailer looks so good, because they brought back the Borg.
No. That was before the merger.
Well, that was before the merger, but it still looked like a true sequel to Next Generation.
But we're still not allowed to have Klingons, though. We're not allowed to have Klingons until season 2 because they didn't have the rights to have the actual Klingon look.
Oh, okay.
So now Picard 2 will probably be the main thing because Picard season 2 will have everything that they weren't allowed to have in the first season.
Those were Klingons? I thought they were poop emojis.
Those were Klingons.
Why can't they just make it that they were another race of Klingons on the planet?
That would have been best. Because at least they did that same thing in DS9.
They don't really look like Klingons at all. They have some hint at the same ridge, but they look far more reptilian. They look like you took
Silurian
you crossed a Klingon with a Gorn. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. They look like the ones from Enterprise, the ones called Cindy or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you watch Star Trek Discovery a lot, David Aston? Or no?
I know of it. I've seen how the fans have badly reacted to it, but I've never watched one single episode.
We tried, right, Scott? We tried.
It was decent.
It's pretty
We're
bad.
trying to get through with Scott, me and Scott. Like, we're trying to do a show called The Rewatch.
Like I said, I pretty much watched it for Tilly and the other gal on there with the little Borg-like thing around her eye. That's the only reason why.
The problem with Star Trek Discovery, I've seen like a couple episodes of season 1, and I've seen a couple episodes of season 2, and I thought season 2 was going to be better. It's slightly better, but it still sucks. Still doesn't feel like Star Trek. But the problem is the show focuses too much on one character, Michael, and Michael is written in a way that she's just very unlikable. You can't stand
Michael Burnham, right?
Yeah, Michael Burnham. You can't stand
it. Was so female-centric that she was the one that came up with all the, if you notice, all the women were the ones that came up with the ideas. And the guys would just go, oh, wow.
The writers of like season 2, they don't even know the difference between religion and science. Yeah, it's obvious for the way the writing is. Like there was that one church episode in season 2 of Discovery where Michael Burnham says, "My religion is science," and I'm like, no, religion is religion. Science is not a religion. It is a study. Science is a study. Religion is a collection of beliefs. And so whoever wrote that is an idiot. You would think that if she was like an engineer and had rose to the rank of commander.
They were trying to get a lot of the religious stuff out of it, though, if you watched.
I thought they're not allowed to mention God in it.
Well, they had that one, it was obviously based on religion, that one church episode where they go to this church that had been transported to another planet, and it's like
I told you,
merged all the religions of Earth into one religion or something.
Was John Travolta there? Or no?
Well, since I haven't seen it, and
I think his skull was underneath the church. I think John Travolta's skull was underneath.
Battlefield Earth. That whole franchise.
He got killed from Battlefield Earth, and it was a tie-in indirectly. It was an indirect sequel.
That was like the biggest disaster I've ever seen.
Oh God!
What a train wreck!
Since I haven't seen it, how good is it really? I mean, it's not an assembled
Discovery
one like
You're talking about Discovery?
It's not like Next Generation.
Why don't you join us for the rewatch? We can get you that. We could show that we do the episodes. We'll watch them all together, and we'll get you on the show. Because that's what we're doing. I'm rewatching some of the stuff that I already watched with Discovery, so we can get your opinion on episode 1. We could show it to you. Isn't episode 1 free on some of these things?
As far as I know, it's still free.
It's free.
Yeah.
It's free on YouTube.
Episode 1 of season 2 is free. They have,
but he's got to see episode 1, I think, of season 1. That's free.
And
that
sadly,
was on TV.
Episode 3 is the best of the. It's when the series really starts getting bad. I mean, really good. I mean,
yeah, the Star Trek Discovery YouTube channel, I think, has the first episode of season 2 is free watch on the YouTube.
Oh, okay. So David Aston's going to watch that sometime in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the inclusion of Captain Pike. It really makes no sense because you would think that if Captain Pike had left the Enterprise to be captain of Discovery, that it would have been mentioned. I mean, they just retcon a bunch of stuff.
They erased all the records.
Oh, speaking of retcon, isn't it a fact that this is to everybody that Discovery happens in the movie Star Trek universe? They're not allowed to use the same costumes as the ones that generate.
Isn't Discovery from Kempler universe? Yeah. Right? It's from the movie universe.
Because that's where the whole notion of the
because due to the events of the Romulans interfering, she winds up in a different place that she's not supposed to be, and Sarek raises her. So she's part of the J.J. Abrams Kempler timeline. Discovery is.
Well, let me clear it up because I actually know about that. It's very confusing because in the Kelvin timeline, they always refer to, this is a modified Prime universe. But the Prime universe, I'll call it Abrams Trek, or Jar Jar Abrams Trek. In the Jar Jar Abrams version of Star Trek universe, that's a totally different. Red alert! That's a totally different universe. It's a totally different Prime universe.
That's the Kempler universe. J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams is called the Kempler.
Hang on, this is
and so Discovery is a prequel to the
TV series from classic Star Trek to Enterprise. Which universe is that in?
That's the original Prime
universe.
But they have there's 3
Steampunk. Wait a minute. The Kempler universe started before Kirk was born, which would mean that it started before Michael Burnham was born, right? Because that takes place 10 years before Kirk joins. I know. I'm sorry. It joined 10 years before Kirk joins Enterprise's Discovery. So technically, she wasn't even born when the Kempler universe started. So she's part of the Kempler universe because her destination is different because of the events of the. She's part of that. That's what Discovery is part of.
You're talking about the Kev?
Michael Burnham is part of the J.J.
I'll try to. Sorry, it's getting complicated.
Let him answer, Joe. Let him answer. There's 3 universes, basically.
Yeah, basically 3 universes. There's the original Prime universe, which was the original series all the way up until Voyager.
Yeah.
And it includes Enterprise. And then there's the new Prime universe, which is Discovery, and then everything that happened up before the USS Kelvin got destroyed. And that's the new Prime universe. And then there's the Kelvin timeline. So, but now because the copyright issues apparently have been resolved, I'm optimistic that the Picard series will be a really good show. This is what fans have wanted. They want to see what 7 of 9 has been up to. Maybe they'll bring in Cisco and some of the other
So it's called Kevlin, not Kempler. Kevlin timeline,
it's right? The Kevlin.
Okay, so here's the thing. I thought
Kelvin.
Here's the thing. I thought
timeline. It's named after the USS Kelvin.
Steampunk. Yes, Steampunk.
Destroyed. Go ahead.
I thought that the Discovery was not even part of either. I thought that because of the next generation ship that was sent into the past, into Enterprise time, it went into the Mirror universe. And then years later, they developed, this is why Discovery technology is advanced and Mirror universe technology is advanced, because of the next generation ship from the future that went in the way past, and both of them have been interacting with each other, developing technology, which basically.
Yesterday's Enterprise.
No, before that.
They invade. Oh. Well,
this is Scott Bakula.
Thing, isn't it?
This is Scott Bakula and Enterprise show that they interact with the Mirror universe, and they had a Next Generation ship, which was hundreds of years in the future. And because of the mirror universe got altered, that would also alter the prime timeline to another timeline, because the technology will be far advanced when we got to Discovery. Right?
Well, yeah, but because of copyright issues,
I know.
Discovery is technically, there's too many continuity errors.
Technically, Picard is going to be the prime timeline, and it's going to be restored when it has season 2, basically.
Yeah, that's what they should have done all along. They need to drop the new prime. Okay, basically, Discovery is New Prime. The New Prime timeline, which is a prequel to the Kelvin timeline, which split off from the New Prime. The old Prime is Picard, Kirk, all the way up to 2005. Anything that aired from 2005 and before.
Well, Quentin Tarantino wants to do
It's nice they're not making it confusing for us.
Yeah, I know. Quentin Tarantino wants to do a Prime Universe Star Trek where he shows an older Kirk, played by William Shatner, and a younger Kirk, played by Christopher Pine.
Yeah. I mean, it could be interesting.
Like, sort of like when they had Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy in Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
He wants to show, like, the older Kirk, which is William Shatner, and younger Kirk, which is Christopher Pine. And he wants to keep the whole entire J.J. Abrams crew, but only that it's a Prime universe, not the shitty J.J. Abrams universe.
I've just had a thought. In this film, the older Kirk could be married to the Gorn. Yeah, diversity. LGBT.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at the knockers on that Gorn.
Jesus. All right. So we're talking about Star Trek. We talked about Doctor Who, and you guys talked about Doctor Who in the last cast with Joey Jupiter.
Well, I think with the problems with the licensing, or with the contract issues they had with Chris Hemsworth and Chris Pine and most of the cast, they Star Trek Beyond did poorly at the box office for the amount of money they spent with all the reshoots and promotional costs.
It did poor, but it still made it didn't do as they expected, but it did good enough to get a sequel. It just passed on the skin of its teeth to get
that. If you read why Star Trek 4 was never made, it's because due to contract negotiations and Chris Pine and Chris. No, they wanted more money, and they needed to keep the budget under $150 million.
That's not what happened. What happened was they all got paid in advance. Like when the movie was going to start, they had their contract set before Beyond started. Someone new took over Paramount Pictures, a new CEO, and he came aboard and he says, "I know you guys are scheduled to get paid, but
what is it with bloody Paramount?
I want you to take a pay cut." He told them all.
Cancel stuff.
Yeah, they wanted them to take a pay cut,
even though they were contractually obligated to pay them that amount. He says that if you keep this contract,
the reason why they wanted to take them a pay cut because they would have had to give them a pay increase. And the increase.
No, they weren't going to give him. But they were supposed to. They already made the deal.
They were going to get paid more than what they got paid.
They already were scheduled to get paid more than what they were supposed to get.
Technically, both these things happened.
But they blame the actors.
The point I'm trying to make. Hold on. Let me try to make this point. The point I'm trying to make is the reason why they wanted them to take a pay cut is because the last movie poorly performed. And they barely broke even. You don't spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a movie.
That's the problem with the writing, but that's not the actor's problem. The actors are just supposed to be acting. Whoever they chose to be the writer gave a shitty script compared to what it was supposed to be, so they're not at fault. That's why they signed them for a contract before the movie came out. But unfortunately, J.J. Abrams never went to bat for Christopher Pine because Christopher Pine said, "Look, I'm in Wonder Woman. I'm in this. Now you want me to make less money?" And even Chris Hemsworth, who they weren't paying a lot to begin with, they wanted him to take a pay cut. So they both said no. And J.J. Abrams is like, well, you know what? I like Spock better anyway, and I've always liked Spock better. So we're going to do a Star Trek movie without Kirk, and we're going to do it with Spock. And all the fans flipped out. and said absolutely not. And immediately he knew what it was like when he got bashed because of doing Khan. So when the fans turned on him, he said, "Screw it, we're just burying this movie."
Well, the poor script of Star Trek Beyond, I would blame on Simon Pegg, because Simon Pegg did extensive rewrites on that, and it was just more self-service to himself as an actor. And he really doesn't need to be writing serious scripts because he's a comedian.
See, I liked Beyond. Compared to Into Darkness sucked ass.
Well, I mean, I thought Beyond was boring. It was just,
I thought it was just different. I like the fact that the ship was getting eaten off by like creatures or some shit. I like that.
I mean, but I'm just saying it did. You know, you look at movies like Avengers doing over $1 billion.
Would you compare it to Star Trek Insurrection?
I think Star Trek Insurrection is a much better movie than Star Trek Beyond.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Because that was like, that was when Picard revolted against part of the Federation.
See, I don't mean to be. I don't mean
like what that admiral was doing.
I don't mean to think like you think I'm coming at you, because the thing is, I'm not. No, what it is. Whoever writes the scripts, they're not responsible. They shouldn't get a pay cut because of the effing writing scripts. Like, that's not fucking fair, honestly.
That's why the movie wouldn't get done. That's why the movie wouldn't get done, because they realized that if they filmed another movie, why spend $300 million?
You know, everybody agreed to the pay cut, but Christopher Pine and Chris Hemsworth, they all took a pay cut. They all ripped their contracts in half. And
I think it's also just, there must have been things going on behind the scenes. There were a lot of flipping back and forth. There was a character who was added at the last minute, this lady character who didn't do anything really, and they actors do. One film takes ages to get going. That's a lot of time they could be doing other things. And I just had a thought. The guy who plays Kirk. He might have been thinking I could be doing something with DC.
Speaking of
I say it's just as well that Star Trek 4 is dead, because.
But J.J. Abrams is gone.
The Kelvin timeline sucks. Yeah, even if J.J. Abrams is gone.
He's gone.
But he created the Kelvin timeline.
Yeah, but his company Bad Robot was bought by Warner Brothers, so he's not allowed to do anything with Paramount anymore because they own his company. DC like Warner Brothers owns Bad Robot, so he's going to be doing superhero movies.
When you build a bucket of crap and you give it to somebody else, it's still a bucket of crap.
Well, no, because look at Quentin Tarantino. No, Quentin Tarantino said, they posted it. He said, J.J. Abrams, what is this crap? This whole thing you created is
I'm waiting for Jackie Brown, the woman from Jackie Brown, to be playing a whore.
But he said that to J.J. Abrams. He's like, your con is shit. Your whole timeline is shit. I'm doing a movie. I'm getting this crew in there. I'm paying them more money. And I'm going to do it. That's going to be Prime Universe. And I don't care what you say. He's like, do whatever you want, Quentin. It's yours. You could just you could throw out my universe in the garbage.
Well, they've been talking about that since 2016, and nothing's really been done with that. Quentin Tarantino did that in he said that in an interview in like 2016.
But it's
nowhere near to even being started.
It's going to happen. You want to know why? Because he said he's only going to do one more film left that's an original. But Star Trek is not original, so that is the only loophole he allowed himself. So he's going to be doing 2 movies, one Star Trek and one that's his last film.
Why he's supposed to do Kill Bill Volume 3?
Yeah, but that's not considered original because
I think another problem is that the PC brigade clearly don't like Tarantino, and he'd like to do something, more adult.
A horror movie is his last film. A horror movie, he said. But if he did a Kill Bill 3, that would be as part of a loophole because a sequel is not an original Tarantino film. So he could technically do Kill Bill, Star Trek,
They've accused Kill Bill of being sexist or something, despite the fact that the main character is a bloody woman.
I like
a woman, I mean.
Right, Scott? You like them?
I don't remember hearing anybody saying
Kill Bill was good. I love the first two.
What did you say, Steampunk?
I don't remember anybody saying Kill Bill was sexist.
I
know that the movie. I remember it was being criticized for being overly violent.
Yeah,
and I think that was the whole point. He was so violent and so Well, it was so violent and so unrealistic that it was over the top. You knew that it was like an abstract kind of art film.
She got hurt. I know that, and she hated it for a while, right, Scott?
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Uma Thurman.
It was like this year or last year where they finally started
made amends with him, right? Yeah. All right, so that's the status of Star Trek. Star Trek is going to be fixed, and because it's now all the rights in one together. They're not going to be restricted. They're not going to have to get permission anymore. The only problem is you're not going to see it until Picard season 2, because Discovery season 3 is almost done filming, and Picard season 1 is almost done filming. They're just doing reshoots. So you're not going to see the effects of this deal until Picard season 2, basically.
Well, I think that's what the beauty of Picard is, that he's wearing the same communicator that you saw in Star Trek Nemesis.
Yeah.
So it feels like a direct sequel, and they'll make it a direct sequel by season 2, and that's what fans wanted. We want the old Star Trek pre-2005. That's what we want.
They're not allowed. If every Next Generation member was going to appear, Michael Dorn wouldn't be allowed to appear because the Klingons are not allowed. The Klingons are redesigned according to Discovery, so that's why they.
The only big difference between All Good Things and this new Picard thing is that there's no Data, having his own position at Oxford or something.
And also that the timeline was changed.
But it's great. Picard is actually running his own winery, just like in All Good Things. I like that.
And the timeline showed Deanna Troi was dead in All Good Things, and she's alive now.
Yeah.
So the timeline has changed. Yeah.
So I wonder if this is going to affect that little Discovery lawsuit that's going on too.
Tommy,
those turd creatures that they.
Don't be too the tardigrade. Don't be too surprised if Discovery season 3 is it, because they don't want to pay.
I've already decided it is.
What is it with the Discovery people? They piss off the fans by calling them racist.
The Star Trek people they don't even want people to make fan-made films.
Well, that was because of Xanatar. That thing. And it's when they contacted us, that's on. Remember, Scott? That's because of that. Because that's because of them, actually. They had to end Star Trek Continues because of that.
Which was an awesome series.
What else? Anything else going on, Steampunk?
Not much. Same old. All
right, we're going to get out of here. We got 2 minutes. Thank you, Steampunk. Thank you, David Aston. Thank you, Scott. Take care. Bye for now, guys.